This video we're going to look at North Carolina, how they run their slot fade. This is one of my favorite concepts, and North Carolina does a great job of running against one high looks. And obviously they switch up their formations quite a bit and get into 20 personnel looks. We'll look at it out of twins. There are a couple reasons why everybody's running slot fade and why they've gotten two slot fade as opposed to the smash, because it's really just the same thing as a smash, because you got a flat concept and you got a high-low in the corner. Some reasons that I like it is because that receiver can play a lot faster. It's a lot easier to throw for this quarterback right here. He's got a lot more space to throw it to, higher completion percentage, and a better chance of getting over the top of whether it's a linebacker, nickel cornerback, safety that's rolled down, whatever it is, a better shot at getting over the top of them because they're playing so much faster when they know they're fading to the numbers right there. We'll look at a couple of examples from North Carolina from this past year and talk about a few other reasons why we really like slot fade. Right here, obviously, North Carolina's in 20 personnel. They've got a 4-3 box here. There's one safety back deep. That looks like a linebacker or a strong safety. It's number 45 rolled down, and we'll look at exactly what takes place. So Carolina actually gets a little bit of a play fake. They pull their guard right there for the C gap. They get an arrow, and they get bang aid or a dig right here. So they could throw that curl flat basically right there. But what they really liked was their matchup here on the slot fade. And you can see Sam Howell's getting the fake. His eyes, as soon as he catches it, they go down the middle to see that safety to make sure that he's not just running over the top of that slot fade, so then he knows he's got his numbers. So he sets his feet after a little bit of slide and just launches it. And you can see that's a matchup problem right there for the defense. You got a receiver playing fast on the fade. Safety's in the middle of the field, is not able to get there. Great throw and catch right there for a big play for Carolina. Right here they have a look at the routes on that slot fade, and right here you can see he presses them vertical. You don't want to just go straight to that because then he can play at that angle. You want to go to him, try to step on his toes, and then fade to the numbers right there whenever you've got a two-way cut, so he can't just sit there and run at that angle just like an angle tackle. You want to try to make him settle, and then you can outrun him because you know your matchup's there. Right on the outside, they're running a bit of a hitch, and he ends up digging in late. Right there you can see number 45 is flat-footed. Bad matchup there for Wake Forest. I know they're probably trying to get their box right, but it really doesn't work for them right there. Number 45 running with a receiver, and of course the quarterback's going to take advantage of that matchup every single time. Here's another look of this slot fade for North Carolina against NC State. They had 20 personnel. You can see they have their safety rolled here. There's a single high safety. They run a bit of a bang eight there. He runs a fade, and I think you got a hitch out here. One thing that's really interesting about this, you think about where you're at on the field. Right here the ball's on the 17, so he can't just take off running, or he's going to run out of the back of the end zone. So right here he ends up stuttering for just a little bit, then he goes to the fade. And NC State has a little bit of a bust right here. I know they're not going with tempo. There's still 14 left on the play clock, but this is one of those things, if you got a team that's rolling, trying to be complicated and all that stuff, you can get lined up quickly, run the slot fade, and hopefully you can get them where they have a bit of a communication problem, just like NC State does right here. This safety that rolled down, he's thinking it's zone, and the corner's thinking that it's man, and so there's nobody in that third, nobody guarding this receiver here, so it's an easy throw and catch for a touchdown. But what you can again see is you're going to high-low that corner. Worst case scenario, you're going to throw that one-on-one fade with a guy that's either a safety, which the safety is obviously not as good at covering as a corner, or the third corner as being a nickel corner. So again, if he was the best corner on the field, he would be the starting corner. He'd be one of the guys on the outside receivers. So that's another reason why we really like it. Getting one-on-ones with guys that are not used to playing those fades as much as those corners. But one thing, again, you can see he's just stuttering right here just a little bit because he knows he's on the 17, doesn't want to run out of space. And good job there by Sam Howell, knowing that he can't lead him too far, gives him a little bit of room to get his feet down in the end zone for a touchdown. Really like this look from North Carolina. And slot fade, you can try to match it up a lot of different ways. If you have a safety that's coming down hard on a bang eight or a slant or whatever, you can go slant, then you can fade it just like you go slant fade on the outside, anything like that. That's what they do right here. Slant fade from the slot fade right here. So 1, 2, 3, he goes slant, hoping that safety will break that upfield shoulder, and then he fades it. And great job there by the DB getting a little collision and running with him. Hopefully you can avoid that and restack, but right there he does a good job of getting the collision to slow him down a little bit and then get in his hip pocket, and he runs with him. Makes it a really tough throw and catch where they just miss. But that's one of those things with the slot fade. You don't always have to just run a straight slot fade. Could he have just ran with this guy being flat-footed and outrun him and maybe have a little bit more momentum to run through that contact? Maybe, but I like changing it up right there every now and then, giving him a different look, not just being static with your routes, running a little bit of, bang eight to the fade and then the slant to the fade, different things like that, just to make sure that those guys are staying on their toes. Here's another really interesting way that Carolina ran their slot fade. You can see the max splits out here with his receivers. Slot receiver at the top of the numbers right here. It's one-on-one out here because you got two receivers, two DBs like they're manned up. They end up rolling into the box to try to get their box right, thinking that all they can do out here is throw those screens and try to widen the defense so then they can split it running vertical right there with their inside zone, power, whatever it is that they think they might be running. But right here, you got some sort of a post in case that safety flies way over the top of that slot fade, and we'll play it and see what happens. You can see right there they're getting a little bit of rotation from the front, getting a blitz. He's sliding into the box. He's quick to get down right there going post. And these guys are here running that slot fade. Little action. You got a 7-man protection. Eyes go right down the middle. See that safety? That post is probably dead. So then he resets, steps up in the pocket, and drills a ball, which I'm not sure how many people can do this, all the way outside the numbers on that slot fade and misses by just a little bit. Right there, obviously A&M thinking those guys are out wide just as decoys. We'll put our numbers out there to keep them from throwing a screen, but they're not going to throw vertical like they do right here. And you can see why Sam Howell is thought as one of the best quarterbacks in college football and probably a high draft pick in this next year's draft. One of those things that, as a dynamic throw, gives guy opportunity on a ball that not many people even fathom can be thrown right there. But just another way you can do it, if you got a guy with a cannon, you can widen those guys out, and then obviously you get a one-high look. You can run that slot fade, and hopefully you can go to the top of them like they did right here. They just missed on this throw and catch for an incompletion, but you can see what they're trying to do. This look from North Carolina, run their slot fade over here to this side. They've got their formation into the boundary. Virginia Tech ends up playing a too-high look, but with the fullback and formation into the boundary with the two receivers, he's trapping number 3, which is one of those things that you can look at it, game planning, and hopefully see how he's going to play that, if they're going to treat it like 3-by-1, and he's going to look that direction, or he's going to stay over here with just one receiver to the field and try to make it 2-on-1. Either way right there, what they end up doing when the ball is snapped is they get a 7-man protection. You get some kind of a smash down here. I'm not sure exactly if it's just a high smash or a slot fade. And you get a post right there, and you can see he's outside leverage, so you can lean at him and then post that thing over the top of this. Safety hangs flat footer. If he's getting over the top right there, trapping 3, then you should be able to take that shot with the post over the top. And right here, play action, you can see the safety. As soon as that ball is snapped, his eyes are over here reading 2 for him possibly coming across on some kind of a wide cross or anything like that. 7-man pro. You can see the quarterback's eyes go right down the middle, sees that he's a little flat-footed, and he's looking to the 3. So right there, they go over the top of the post. Really good throw. Just enough room right here with the catch. Gets his foot down right there for the touchdown. You can see the middle field safety right there. Just trying to get over the top. He ended up rotating to the boundary to leave it open right there for the post. Over the top against the one-on-one with the outside leverage corner. Should be able to win that to the middle of the field. They end up winning that by 2 or 3 yards, and good throw and catch for a touchdown for Carolina. Another formation that's really advantageous to run the slot fade is empty. And basically you just get 3 verticals with some hitches on the outside. Is the way that a lot of people like to run it. Right here, what Carolina ends up doing though is run their slot fade. They run a hitch here, hitch there, fade there. Pretty obvious right here. No safety look, or if it is a safety look, there's going to have to be some kind of crazy roll. And right here, they end up rolling that guy that's there at that Mike Backer spot. These guys are all down on the line, but it looks like it's obviously man because their eyes are on the receivers. So it's man-to-man. It's either cover 0 or cover 1. This ball's going to get out quickly on a fade right there to a guy that's probably the tightest coverage other than obviously this DB right here. But obviously, he's probably one of their better guys since he's the outside corner. That's probably nickel or strong safety walk down right there on your slot. So as you can see, this thing's played. He's rolling hard to the middle of the field. They're having all kinds of stuff right here. I think they dropped 2 underneath. They rushed 3. And so even if they would have brought 5 right there, and you get a one-on-one where your guys don't win, you're still getting this ball out quickly. He just gets a big 3. Boom, ball's out. He launches it. He's got a little bit of space right there on the DB by about a yard, restacking, running that ball down. Really good job there by the DB getting his hand in there, but then the receiver just keeps fighting for it and ends up making a play. But right there, I thought that was a great call. 1st and 10, you're getting a man look. Now, there's obviously no safety help, but he's trying to get there, which obviously there's no way that he's going to get there from that alignment. But you can look at the rest of the routes that they have. Looks like they have a little bit of an option here. He settles, and he sees there's nobody in the middle of the field, so he goes there. Those guys are dropping underneath it. But one thing that's great about that slot fade is you're getting the ball out quickly on a shot. Even if they would have gone, brought 5 or gone cover 0, whatever it is, then you still got an opportunity to get that ball out under duress and have your guy have an opportunity to make a play for you like they do right here. So slot fade, It's one of those things that I really like whenever you get a one high look, and obviously I like it at an empty and other things like that. Anytime you're not having any safety help over the top, that's going to be advantageous. But appreciate you guys watching, and let me know what you guys think we need to continue to look at. I know it's getting close to the 2021 football season. Let me know what kind of things you're looking forward to, what kind of things you're excited about for this upcoming season, and we'll see you guys next time.